All right, let's talk about it. The one chapter that gives pretty much every Nigerian student more stress and more sleepless nights than any other. Chapter 2, the Literature Review. If you are dreading it, trust me, you are in exactly the right place.
So, does the very thought of writing Chapter 2 just make your head spin? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. It's almost a rite of passage for students to feel completely overwhelmed by just mountains of reading and summarizing. But what if I told you there's a much better way to handle it?
Here's the secret that changes absolutely everything. What if Chapter 2 isn't about just listing what other people have done? What if it's actually about you, building a powerful, convincing case for your own research? That is the mindset shift we're going to make today.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle that Chapter 2 headache and really understand why it's so tough. Then, I'm going to show you the blueprint, a super clear path forward. We'll break down the anatomy of a great review, learn the art of finding that crucial research gap, and finally, we'll bring it all together in the summary and synthesis.
So here's the most important thing to get your head around. Your real goal isn't to create some boring list of studies. It's to enter a conversation with the scholars who came before you. You're showing your supervisor, you're showing your examiners that you get the discussion and you are ready to add something new and unique.
And look, this isn't just me making things up. Our entire strategy for this comes directly from an official guide used to train researchers at a major Nigerian university. This advice is practical, it's been field tested, and it is designed for you.
And here it is, the real deal. Our whole framework is based on the LUTEC Research Manual of Style from the College of Health Sciences. This is a guide built specifically for Nigerian students, so you know that every single piece of advice we talk about today is relevant, and more importantly, it's actionable.
Now, the manual lays out this beautifully simple four-step process. Step 1, you state your sources. Step 2, you organize your review using your own research objectives as subheadings. And this is a really clever trick, because it keeps your writing laser-focused. Step 3, and this is the heart of it, is to review the empirical studies. And that just means research based on real-world verifiable evidence. And finally, Step 4, you summarize everything to really pinpoint that research gap. Okay, now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the real building blocks of your review. How, exactly, do you analyze each individual study? This part right here is where you go from being just a student to being a true scholar. According to that LOTCH manual, the absolute minimum number of recent empirical studies you need to review is 6. Okay, that's your starting line. But, and this is a big but, minimum is just that, the minimum. To really make your work stand out, you've got to aim higher. For an undergraduate project, a really solid review probably has around 8 to 10 studies. But for postgraduate work, we're talking master's or PhD, you're showing mastery, so you should be digging way deeper, aiming for 15 to 20 studies, maybe even more.
And here it is, the golden formula for success. For each and every study, you're going to write one tight paragraph covering 6 key points. Ready? First, the study's general purpose. That sets the scene. Second, its research design and methods. That tells you how they did what they did. Third, the population and sampling technique. This is so crucial for knowing who the results apply to. Fourth, the key findings and conclusions. And now for the 2 most important parts. Fifth, the limitation or gap you identified. This is your way in. And sixth, how your study is going to address that specific gap. This is where you justify your own work. It's a powerful checklist for every single review you write.
This brings us to the absolute masterstroke of the literature review, finding and then clearly stating the research gap. This is what turns your chapter from a simple summary into a compelling argument. It's the moment you justify why your entire project even needs to exist.
Think of it like a puzzle. On one side, you have the body of work that previous researchers have already built, all the pieces they've put together. And on the other side, you have that specific missing piece of the puzzle that nobody has addressed yet. Your job in Chapter 2 is to shine a massive spotlight right on that missing piece.
And the LaTeX manual gives us a perfect example of how to phrase this. It says, however, the study was limited to Lagos. The present study addresses this gap. See how clear and confident that is? It points out a specific limitation, in this case, location and method, and then immediately shows how the new study is going to solve it. That right there is the goal for your own review.
Okay, so you've reviewed all your studies, you've been pointing out the gaps all along the way. Your final move is to put it all together. You need to write a sharp, concise summary of reviewed literature that closes out your Chapter 2 with a real punch.
Now, this summary has 3 critical jobs. First, it has to pull together the main themes and lessons from everything you've just reviewed. Second, it restates the big picture, here is what the field knows and here is what it doesn't know. And finally, it declares with total clarity the specific gap that your research is designed to fill.
And that summary does something really brilliant. It acts as the perfect bridge, logically and smoothly leading your reader from the problems you found in the existing research straight into your Chapter 3, which is where you'll explain the exact methodology you're going to use to solve them. It just flows perfectly. So you see, the literature review isn't a chore you just have to suffer through. It's your chance to stand on the shoulders of other researchers and point the way forward. It's your argument for why your work truly matters. Which leaves us with just one final question. Now, what gap will your research fill?